Welcome, everyone. I'm Ivy Rivera. I'm a psychic medium, a Taino era walk, and this is Coffee with Your Angels, where I deliver out to you whatever is the most important healing message for you to hear at this time. You're going to drop your $10 donation, and then you can either wait to receive your message, or if you have a specific area of concern in your life, you can drop a specific question. I do ask that if you're going to do that and it involves someone else, you do include the first name or at least the initials of that person, place, or thing if it is very specific. And most of these messages will be coming directly from your angels, hence Coffee with Your Angels. So grab your coffee, your wine, your tea, your hot chocolate, and open up, okay, to receive whatever love and healing guidance they're going to give. We do see that angels come through in a time of need. You have two that are appointed to you before you come to earth. That's your guardian angel and your protector angel. Your protector angel is watching over things like, thank you for the hearts on TikTok. Your protector angel is watching over like your health. If you were going through a surgery or something like that, if you ever just narrowly avoided something like a car accident and you don't know how that happened, or you had a near-death experience, but you felt the grace of some benevolent being there with you that helped you to come back to life or pull through, those are your protector angels. They will also let you know if you're dealing with a toxic human being or circumstance that you shouldn't be. Okay, they will relentlessly come through, not just to protect you, but to get you to get away from that person or situation. So we have, again, with the other guardian angel, a different sense of protection. Your guardian angel is watching over your mental and emotional well-being for the most part. And so this is the angel that shows up for you if you're like hitting rock bottom, if you're going to have a meltdown, if you're going through a mental breakdown, if you are going through a lot of karmic change. I think of the number 5, which is like multiple changes, right? All areas of life simultaneously. This could be overwhelming. Humans don't like change, much less that amount of change. So your guardian angel is going to show up to help you, okay, to regulate, to protect your mental and emotional well-being during that time. So if you guys want to learn more about your angels, I have an actual class on this. It's called Coffee with Your Angels, and it's up on the website. All right. But anyways, your angels aren't there hanging out and chilling like besties all the time. I don't believe when anyone says that that's happening unless they've had multiple near-death experiences. Most people are not tapping in with them on a regular basis. Even if you work for them, even if you do this type of work, you're not constantly they're not there on a whim, okay? Angels tend to be mistaken for aliens when they come in for a visit. Usually you'll see almost like a blinding light, or you may go into a trance-like state. You may feel warmth from the top of your head, almost like water rushing down to the bottom of your feet. You may experience paralysis or time warps, blackouts, go unconscious. And then again, the trance-like state, okay? And then they will download whatever information or healing it is that you need to receive at that time. They're long, tubular, light beings. So the way they come through looking like the angels with the wings, that's more for us. That's not what they actually look like. So again, they can have like long faces, long arms, be extraordinarily tall and overwhelming. And that's normal. That's what they actually, look like. And so again, they're often mistaken for aliens when they come through to visit. But if you are receiving a visit from them ever, you should definitely pay close attention because something is going on, okay, in a big way. But we should have more reverence for angels and not talk about them like they so casually pop in and out all the time and they're, our friends, and it's like we're toying around with them like we are humans. Absolutely not. And scary as they can be, they are benevolent. Okay, so just try to remember that. We are going to get started And I do want to ask everyone real quick to just give this video a thumbs up, drop a comment of any kind. It helps me out in the algorithm. Drop an angel wing, drop a feather. Maybe let me know where you're tuning in from. Okay. I'm always tracking that. I would love to hear where you guys are tuning in from. Do share this video and please do subscribe. If you really want to support me the most, go onto my YouTube channel here at Ask Ivy, the Medium, and start dropping your donations. Again, if you have a question, you can ask your question. If you don't, we'll just keep it open-ended, and whatever comes up for you is what comes through. This is unlimited, and this is a test show. So if it gets great interaction from you guys, even once it's published, if you're watching this later, please give this video some love so I know to add it to the 2026 show lineup. All right. Let's see what we've got. Okay. Edgar Velardes is the first one up. Edgar, what healing message or messages do we have for Edgar? You have 4 different past lives where your mouth was restricted. Your voice was taken from you. I'm seeing Ariel from The Little Mermaid, but it wasn't as pleasant as that. There was a contract though. In 3 of these past lives, you were suffering the consequences from 4 past lives ago. Okay. So in the 4th life back, you signed a contract. You agreed to give up your voice. And this was, I think, for survival. When we think of things like colonization, this is what we're talking about. How we have silenced ourselves to stay alive, for example. It was a circumstance much like that. So you did it. But when you sort of sell your voice, you've sold your soul in a way. And you've spent the last 3 past lives trying to get it back. And you didn't always do a lot of work in that area, the amount that you should have. So in this life and where you are literally right now, this year, 2026, where you are, the healing message for you is that you are once and for all karmically retrieving your voice and letting it back out for the first time in an authentic way, in alignment with your higher mind. It feels very in alignment with the universe. This is extraordinarily powerful, but you're not there yet. You have to continue to do the work. And that's going to involve choosing you over money or other people or things that you think you need or low self-esteem that others have put upon you, right? The ego, which is fear, manipulation, and control. You have got to choose the higher vibration and be willing to state who you are. Clear this throat chakra once and for all. Remember that clearing the throat chakra is not just what you say, it's what you don't say. It's how you carry yourself. It's what you wear. It's what you think about. It's what you refuse to think about. It's what you entertain, what you won't entertain, what I show up for, what I will not show up for. All of these different ways of communicating are something you need to be focused on right now. What happens when you start giving your voice out authentically after this process wraps up, and I am confident you'll pull this off, is truly magical. It's extraordinarily powerful. I hear like angels trumpeting. You know, this is a grand finale. This is a revelation. This is a revolution for you. And you're a strong contributor. Only the strong contributors would get attacked like this. Okay. So you're a true light worker, a real healer, and you're going to be used to help many people. But it's time we evolve, okay, into that and get out of this cycle that you've been in. It's also going to feel a bit like a party. Imagine hundreds of years of not being able to get your voice back. Think of Ariel, right? And how she felt when she finally got it back from, what was her name? Ursula, that nasty witch. You know, so that's what you're doing, is taking it back from dark energies that took it from you. Be very mindful because they continue to show up and your tests do continue right now, but 2026 can be the final year for you. This is huge. March comes up as well. Okay. So be expecting to hear more from your angels around March. Thank you, Edgar. All right, let's see what comes up for Deanna. Deanna, what healing message do we have for Deanna? Choose you. I heard choose you, choose you. It's almost like you're needing to cut someone off. And this isn't necessarily just one person, but there is a sense here of one person in particular. And this does feel like male energy. We could also say that this is authority, okay, or toxic masculinity. Take it how it resonates. I'm going to put it in a category. But this masculine energy is constantly like pecking at your ear. This is your receiving side. This is also the past, okay, meaning your past, of course. And there they are, like a big cloud, okay, just always, thank you for the hearts on TikTok, just always talking in your ear, and you're just receiving it, receiving it, receiving it. I feel like this is a battle for who will run your brain, who runs your mind. And anything that runs your mind runs your emotions. And whatever runs your emotions will determine the actions you take. So there is nothing more important than making sure that you have a sovereign mind. And this interference is breaking down right now in your life as a choice. Almost like you got an angel on one shoulder and you got a devil on the other, right? It's coming down to a choice whether you are going to pick yourself or you're going to pick others. You're going to pick situations that are bombarding you. You're going to pick and choose the world, okay? Fears over love, anyone in a position of authority, okay? Whatever it is that is in defiance against your authentic self, your higher mind, you loving yourself, respecting yourself, that's trash. And it needs to go. So the way out of this is to repeatedly show the universe, thank you, TikTok, it's to repeatedly show the universe that you are going to pick and choose yourself in those moments when you're being tested. Now, for you, this isn't like an occasional testing, because like I said, it's like a ba, 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 ba. It's a freaking constant. It's like it's ingrained in you. And I would say with a situation like this is programming from birth. Okay. So a lot of this battle may be at this point between you and you. So deprogram, deconstruct, get rid of that toxic authoritarian voice that causes you to sell yourself out and be so double-minded. Every time you go with your gut instinct, your intuition, you have a way of being like, I feel it, that's the truth. And then you're like, but I don't know, and you just backpedal. So a lot of this is you doing this to yourself. I think that you can come out of this with some persistence, some stability, creating some stability in your choices. But right now you're like a ping pong game. It's like a tug of war. It's very back and forth. Okay. So your angels are coming through and guiding you through this process. So are a couple of your ancestors and even 2 grandparents. So the only excuse you have right now is you're the problem. Don't be double-minded. Okay. But this is going to be absolutely magnificent because again, when you control your thoughts, you control your emotions, and your emotions will control your actions. Everything is connected from that source. So this is absolutely huge, masterful skill to achieve. Love this for you. All right. Beautiful. Abby is next. Is this Abby like Hicks? Okay. Abby. Abby, what healing message do we have for you? Abby. It's like you're spreading too thin. It's like, I'm going to give myself over here to these kids or these immature people who need me. I'm going to give myself over to these situations that need me. Do these situations need me? Oh, it's time for me to sit back and have a cup of tea and rest. Do they need me more? What's in my inbox? It's like you are your own worst enemy and distracting yourself and I'm like, from what? From you. You're running from you. You are Miss Fix It. You are Miss Overreaching, right? You are not abiding by the laws of the universe that say, boundary line, do not cross this line, or the idea of staying in your lane, that you are only to deal with the people and situations that are appointed to you to deal with. You're an overreacher. There may have been parentification in like childhood that started to cause this. There may have been issues growing up where you felt you only got attention if that positive reinforcement, if you were handling everything, you were the leader, you were the teacher, you were the provider, you were the healer. And unfortunately, it stripped your ability to receive, and it's reached a place of burnout. Now, I can't prescribe or diagnose, but I don't need to tell you what that's going to look like physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. Burnout, hitting rock bottom. Why is nothing working? Why am I not fulfilled? Why do I have a sense of anxiety? What is this low-level depression? I can't prescribe or diagnose. When your angel comes through here, showing all of this, what they're talking about, and this is particularly coming through as more of a male angel, and they don't all show gender. Thank you for the hearts on TikTok. What he's showing is that you need to sort of sit up straight, keep your eyes focused on where you want to go, because that's not an area of confusion for you. You know what you want. You have a sense of future self. You know where you want to go. You know that. And that's sometimes the hardest part. But it's like your spine isn't strong enough. Okay. So he's infusing energy into your spine to get you to like be strong, have a strong back. When I used to do personal training, we would talk all the time, every day, about your core. And if your core is right, if your stomach is solid, your spine will also be. And if we've got these things in order, everything else will fall into place. If these things are out of whack, everything else is going to be out of whack. So this idea that your angel is coming in and he's infusing you with this energy, and you may be physically feeling this, like a surge of energy or heat or electricity going from the base of your spine. It's like your root chakra up. That's what he's allowed to do. The rest is up to you. Okay, so just make sure that you are allowing yourself to be more analytical, okay, about what it is that you really need to do in order to create a certain level of peace and get your energy back. The fact that you're being so infused with energy suggests that you're just wasting it everywhere. Your energy is so precious. And this is sort of, I feel like this is the first collective message I'm getting tonight. I don't know if there will be more or not. So listen up, but this is for everyone. If you find yourself leaning into workaholism or trying to get control over situations, whether it be other people's lives, or I'm going to take on these extra tasks that I really am not even going to finish, or, I have to overreach all the time. You're running from yourself. You are. And there's nothing to be afraid of once in the whole world if you can get comfortable with yourself. The enemy is within. Sometimes the call is from within the house. Okay. Deanna Alt. Okay. Deanna said, thank you so much. Did I already read you, Deanna? You're welcome, Deanna. Absolutely. Next one up is Maraid. Okay. Maraid, what healing message do we have for you? Wow, this is powerful. Something happened 2 to 3 days ago with you where your protector angel came in first. Your guardian angel is here now. So that phase is done. 2 to 3 days ago, something popped, something triggered. Okay. And your protector angel is coming through as male. Your guardian angel is coming through as female. Just so you know, when they come through, you can maybe detect a little more easily who's who and what's what and what they're talking about. When he came in here with you, it was like a no. It was a stop. It was a CTA, it was a call to action. It was a message that you were not to take another step forward in dealing with a particular person, a situation, a pattern, a habit, old karma. It was a no. You need to be done. Now remember, he can't just come in and stop you. He can come in and hold you back, but you have free will. So it was a bit of a jolt, I think, to you, a bit of a wake-up call where you may have felt the last 2 to 3 days, again, it started 3 days ago, where you may have felt like, what the hell was that? Like, what is going on with me? What am I going through? Because this can't all be coming from me. I don't normally have these types of reactions, this level of insight, this drive to go forward and do something differently, or this overwhelming desire, in this case, to hold back. I don't normally have this much self-control. But there it was. Okay, so it was enough, I think, to help you get on the right path. And I feel like getting on this right path, and here's where your guardian angel is stepping in. Again, feeling more feminine to me, for sure. Now where you are and where you've been probably in the last day or so is like just a little bit more, I heard mercurial. Oh, okay. Thinking. You're thinking more. You're analyzing more. And my jaw just popped. I don't know if you guys could hear that, but that's gross. But also, if you've been like grinding your teeth, I'm not really asking, I'm telling you, you've been grinding your teeth, and I can't prescribe or diagnose, but it could have been causing like a tight jaw or TMJ or dental stuff or stress neck, headaches. And a lot of the teeth grinding for you may be going on at night in your sleep. So you're not fully aware. But I do think you have started to recognize it more when you're like tense, when you're awake, or you're going through a stress point. You're like, whoa, I gotta stop doing that. I gotta calm down, take a deep breath. Your guardian angel is coming in here talking about helping you to unclench, helping you to be more, I love the way she said it, mercurial, which is the planet of Mercury, which is thought. Okay. Thinking, intellect. You're analyzing things in a different way than what you ever have. And a lot of those insights, I would love to credit you for everything. A lot of them are actually coming directly from her. She's downloading it into you. So you're going to want to work on opening your crown, opening your third eye, receiving, and sitting with it for the next 2 weeks. But I feel like you're done. I feel like you are done. Okay, you are done with the cycle of dealing with situations or people that are bad for you, basically. Wow, so you have both your angels working on that. Very interesting. If you guys hear grumbling, I am fasting. I am hitting my 24 hours. I have my tea to settle my stomach down, my lean green tea, but it's still very loud. And quite frankly, I don't care at this point. Okay. Because I am pulling off my weight loss goals. So bear with me. Let's see who's up next. Shauna Dempsey. Shauna Dempsey. What healing messages are coming through for you, Shauna? Your solar plexus, heal your solar plexus and heal the heart. We heal this, we heal this. It comes out our mouth. Okay. Like a 1, 2, 3. I don't want to put blame on your mother, but sorry guys, that is so loud. However, when we're talking about the solar plexus and we're talking about the long-term effects of having blocks like this, it, not for everyone, but for you, may be a situation where you need to look back at your parents, the adult influences, and this doesn't have to just be parents, but I'm saying adult influences of any kind, okay, that had an effect on you earlier in life and also in your 20s, 23 to 27, I'm hearing for you, with a peak at 26. What types of experiences did you have during that time that caused you to stifle out your authentic wants, needs, self? How did you find that deciding to not assert yourself was going to lead to your understanding of like better prosperity, safety, stability? I'm not saying it isn't there. I'm not saying you didn't get some of that, but you got it in a worldly form. Okay. So whether that be like committed relationships that aren't super healthy, or a job that you really didn't want to be at anyways, which gave you a paycheck, paying those bills. But that's just about money. You can make money in a million different ways. That's just about being a cog in the wheel of the machine, right? Of capitalism, like this minimizing of the self. I feel like we do have to put some blame on the elders. In particular, though, I'm not going to sugarcoat, your mom comes up here. I'm sure she was well-intentioned. Nonetheless, we have to look back, and this is what your guardian angel is talking about, because it is at this point really affecting your mental and emotional well-being. We need to look back at mom, the things mom didn't do for herself, the way mom set an example, good, bad, and different for you, and you replicated that, right? You become sort of a mirror image of whatever parent you share the gender with, same gender. I would also say in this case, your guardian angel's talking about go back further, but go back. Look at her father, your grandfather. Okay. The militant way of not being willing to experiment with new things and heal and progress, in the box thinking, then go back further. You're only going to be able to go back so far, right? With like knowledge that you have firsthand. Because then we're dipping into ancestors. But this is where we start talking about things like generational curses, which I do not believe in. However, I do believe in generational programming. And there's been a lot of restriction from that bloodline where they have said, look, if you want to have safety, if you want to have generational wealth, if you want to live, if you want to function, you want to have nicer things, you're going to have to restrict. And it's led to this current circumstance. Okay. So there is a desire to kind of bust out of all of that and to do some heart healing. I think that the heart being the next chakra that came up can suggest here that you've been working. Your guardian angel says you've been working on healing your heart, but you are starting to ask some questions about like why this doesn't seem to be working, or why is there always more? Haven't I gone around this mountain enough? How much more leveling up could there be? How much more shadow work do you want? How much more time on the therapist bench am I supposed to sit here? You know what I mean? It's like, what is not working? Something is not working. Okay. It's going back to those roots and fixing it from the bottom up, from the base. And then automatically your throat, if you've been having issues with your throat chakra. Now, I can't prescribe or diagnose, but we could also have issues with the throat chakra that eventually manifest as like thyroid issues, swollen glands, sinus problems, allergic reactions, anything essentially from the lungs to the top of the head. Okay. But it's also being shut down. You speak, you don't know why you're not being heard. I say my truth and it's still not working. It's the same thing there. Why isn't this working? Why isn't this working? Am I speaking another language? Am I speaking like dolphin squeaks, or like what the hell are people hearing when I talk? So 1, 2, 3, solar, heart, throat, starting with mom, okay, and mom's side. And your angel will be guiding you through this whole process. If I were you, I'd actually get a notebook or like a journal, right? And who doesn't love a new journal? Get some glitter pens, okay? Make it a whole thing and focus on this. I would focus on this, until you feel like you don't need to anymore. But, for 2026, make it one of your New Year's resolutions. As your angel shows you things, then you're ready to work on that part of it. It's not like, let's go, 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 go. You've already been doing that. It's let my angel show me what, and then I'm going to work through this, and then wait, take a break, let my angel show me what, and then I'm going to work through this. Okay. It's like a fun little game. Healing is it's a long, dirty journey, and it's cyclical. It's not a linear, path. Thank you for the hearts on TikTok. All right. Thank you for that. This next one is for Mindy, aka Love and Beloved. Mindy, what am I getting for you? What healing message do we have for Mindy? Your mind, your mouth, your mind, your mouth, your heart. We just went backward from, okay. Your mind, your mouth, your heart. Your mind, your mouth, your heart. Okay. Mind, mouth, heart, in that order. And your heart being connected to children or childhood, both, actually. Some people who have a blockage in the heart chakra struggle to look at children. And this can be very, your guardian angel is hilarious. We also have your protector angel here. So there is something very serious going on here. Okay. When you need that level of protection, and we'll get to it. It is past life, which is good, meaning that's dead, done, over with, but we are going to explain it. Okay. It's not something you have to worry about now. But your guardian angel is hilarious in referring to you as being like Willy Wonka. I'm talking about the one with Johnny Depp, although they were both like that, right? It was just a different version, different analysis on Willy Wonka. How uncomfortable Johnny Depp was with children in that movie was hilarious to me. And this can come from child abuse. This can come from neglect in your childhood. This can come from feeling as though you were never protected, you were never seen, you were never heard. Maybe parents used you up, were too strict with you. Again, parentification, if I didn't already say that. But it is this inability to kind of open up your heart chakra fully, because we can't look at those who are vulnerable, like children. And maybe you love kids, but you see a kid and you're like, whoa, no, thank you. No, thank you. Like, I don't want to look at that, because it's triggering. It's triggering for your own memories and flashbacks. Maybe you struggle to look at animals or have animals around, or, admit how much you love animals, because it's triggering, because unless it's like a lion, even then, they can seem helpless. They're defenseless. And humans are just monsters, so there is this sense of like, I don't want to look at anything that holds vulnerability. And unfortunately, the heart is all about vulnerability. And so it's the way you think, right? Because is that what she said? The mouth, she said the mind, the mouth. Yeah. The mind, the mouth, the heart. So the way you think, like Willy Wonka, okay, you've probably suppressed that. You don't even realize you're doing it. We want to process that a little bit more. What are your thoughts on vulnerability? Are you okay with it? How have you been taken advantage of in those areas? And what can you do mentally to heal those wounds? And then it's your mouth. So because we have your protector angel here, you have had some past life trauma in regards to the mind and the mouth. We don't have to get into all of it today. These messages are meant to be brief, but you could feel as though you have struggled your entire life and had attacks in this area and still do today, even though that cycle is wrapping up with your mouth. So that's the throat chakra. That's being heard. That's struggling at times to speak your truth and defend yourself and all of these things. Okay. So we will automatically be able to heal more going on with the mouth and the throat chakra based on the change of thoughts. Change the thoughts, the mouth will come, the throat will come. And then it's the heart. And that's the last part of all of this, the grand finale. Okay. She's funny. She's the grand poobah. It's like, I am opening my heart. I am vulnerable again, which makes us really whole human beings, having a whole spiritual experience as we came to earth to do, right? When people have been hurt, they tend to lean into like anger or rage, or they block out, right? They detach. But it's having that open heart, keeping that open heart, being like, yeah, I've had the shit kicked out of me and I'm still a loving creature. That is phenomenal power, phenomenal and rare. And so that's it. And that's where I see you starting to really shine. Okay. And give this out to others, your power, your healing, your wisdom, your strength. And that's where it's like igniting and catches on fire. Like all these other people are going to catch on fire from this experience, which technically goes back several past lives, like maybe even 5. You've been trying to wrap this up. This is it. Grand finale. Okay. Revolution. Hopefully that made some sense. You can always go back and listen. This will be published in like 24 hours, or sometimes it goes up on YouTube right away. I don't know why. We are going to move on to CJG. What healing message do we have for CJG? Take off, take flight, leave it behind, burn it down. Sodom and Gomorrah. Sodom and Gomorrah is a biblical story of I guess 2 people who I don't know the whole story, but it's like 2 people who left the past behind them. And as like God was striking this town down, this city down, right, this village down, whatever it was, and everything was being burnt to ashes. The story was, if you're going to leave this toxicity behind you, don't look back. Don't turn around. Don't look in your rearview mirror. Keep going. And this is your guardian angel coming through, which means there's really not any kind of a threat to you here in that way. You've already gotten past the points of anything threatening coming in. You pass those tests. But this is about what you do after the storm. This is how you make a decision to leave the wreckage behind you once and for all, instead of sitting in it. You know, it looks a lot like a war-torn area, and you're sitting in the rubble and you're like, well, I can't rebuild here because there's no one else here. And everything's ashes and dust and wreckage. And I hate all the memories from what's been behind me in this area. And, you know, I get the sense that we're talking about people, and that we're talking about disappointments, not just with people, but disappointments. So this is what it is for you. Okay. And you're looking at all of that and you're still sitting here. I mean, as of today, you're still sitting in it. And you're like, well, I don't know. I mean, like maybe a helicopter will come. Maybe something will come to rescue me. Maybe, you know, there is someone alive out there and they come and they come and get me. Like I'm thinking of like Titanic, you know, and it's like eventually a boat did come for Rose. You know what I mean? But, you know, she kind of got lucky on that. You aren't going to have that same kind of story. Like nothing's coming. You are your own savior in this story. And what your guardian angel is trying to do for you is to make you recognize that a chapter is over, that you need to close that book and move on and make the determination to head out into this, untraveled road and do it in blind faith, not knowing where exactly you're going or where it's going to lead or why I'm going in this direction in particular. But trust that more will come for you and the path forward will light up if you start taking steps out in blind faith. What you're doing right now is you're stuck. You're choosing to be stuck mentally, emotionally, energetically, ruminating. You're just constantly being tested over and over and over again in these two areas where it's like disappointments from my past and relationships. And so you would have disappointing past situations coming back up in your head, maybe even in the literal sense being offered to you again. Do you want to go down this road again? Things being offered to you to entertain. Same thing with people, same toxic people, disappointing people, right? Relationships that are below you of any kind would just keep popping up again. You're like, why do I keep getting tested? Because you're not going forward, right? And Sodom and Gomorrah is forward without looking back. You have to, I love the law of like motion, right? What is in motion stays in motion. And I always say that directly connects to universal law of attraction. So like attracts like. And that will automatically lead to manifestation of what you authentically want, what your higher mind really wants. All these things you say you want, you have to put in the work and the effort to get moving out of this, out of this rut. There's nothing for you to find there, she says. Okay, this is your guardian angel. Like, there's nothing for you to find there. You won't find anything. You could dig all day. You can lift up rubble. You can hope and wish to rewrite that ending, but it is an ending. Okay, and there's more in this book. This is just a chapter. Just move on. Okay, move on. And if that wasn't clear, stop thinking about it. That's a better way of saying it. Every time you catch yourself thinking about it, or you're letting yourself get too into your emotions over them or it, nope, not thinking about this. You may have a period in your life where you're attracting a lot of like Geminis as well. I mean, I've got it in like 7 houses. Geminis are, so when we are lacking in something, we tend to attract that zodiac sign. And this is just sort of for everyone. Wherever you're sort of lacking, you may find, especially this year, because this is a powerful year, 2026 of change, you may be attracting someone, who carries those abilities. So, leaning into something even like Gemini energy, where we're our cutoff game is ridiculous. It's like, we were madly, in love and entangled for years. I don't even remember your name today. Okay. Because it's not happening. It's no good for me. I don't want it, and to learn those skills is absolutely critical for growth, especially this type of growth. Let's move on to Christina Hernandez. Christina is next. For those of you tuning in a little bit late, welcome. This is Coffee with Your Angels. This is a test show. So if it gets a lot of engagement from you guys, I will be adding it to the 2026 show lineup. This is an opportunity for you to hear from your guardian angel or your protector angel, whatever healing message is most important for you to receive at this time. Also, if you have a specific area, because I don't think anyone's actually done that yet, have they? If you have a specific area of concern, you could just post your question and be like, I'm going through this thing, what's the healing route or what's the healing message? And I will do it that way as well. Okay. Also, could everyone please give this video a thumbs up, share it, subscribe, drop a comment. Let me know where you're tuning in from. All right, Christina Hernandez. Christina, what healing message do we have for Christina? Why are you going backward? Stop going backward. Stop going backward. You seem to be taking action. I feel we're mostly talking about your money, your resources, career, your titles, advancement and expansion in your work so that you can find yourself full-time doing what you really want to do. You came to Earth with a pretty clear roadmap. It's like I'm making a beeline. It's like I'm born and I'm making a beeline for this thing that I really love to do. along the way, you look like Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz, where along the way, it's like, let me pick up this scarecrow and this tin man and this lion and let me get drained by all these randos, you know what I mean? That are like, I think that what happened here is that you have derailed so many times from this beeline to what you want that you are now finding yourself in a bit of a circumstance where you've forgotten. It's like that part in The Wizard of Oz where the flowers caused amnesia and they made her sort of like fall asleep or forget whatever it is. And it's as though and I do have your protector angel coming in here first. I don't know if we're going to hear from your guardian angel a ton more, but I think that, you know, we have your protector angel coming in here. Looks like a female, very tall, very tall. And with, I don't know what these things are called, but it's like a staff with the pointy thing on the end. Coming in here talking about you need to guard your opportunities better. You have had opportunities with your work, with your career, even within like the last two to 3 years in particular, but I was getting more like 2.5 years. This really started to peak. Where things were supposed to be offered to you, but you may have made very poor decisions. You may have gotten off that path. You may have gotten distracted with other things in your life you shouldn't have been paying attention to. You lost your focus, and other people were able to come in and snatch them away from you. You may have been wasting your energy. So your protector angel is showing you like, if you watch eagles, if you watch hawks, if you watch vultures, I'm obsessed. I go down to the beach in good weather, like every day. And I'm so excited when they're out. I study these birds. They never flap their wings. It's quite incredible. It doesn't have to be a windy day. They just never flap their wings. And they'll soar up above for extended periods of time. You're like, how are they doing that? You know, I wonder what that's like to do. They only flap their wings if they're going to fall or if they see food. And there's a reference here to this being like your totem, this being what you need to do right now. You need to be the eagle. You need to be watchful, observant, at rest, not wasting any of your energy, time, attention, affection, energy with random situations and people that aren't your business. Stay in your lane. And when you see food, when you see resources, when you see wealth, when you see opportunities, you go after them. You flap your wings. Okay. You're like a vulture, like descend upon it. But you have been blaming everything outside of you. So it's like, well, this person or that didn't work out, or this opportunity fell through, or these were the circumstances. No. It's never that simple. Why did those things happen? Because you allowed them, because you got off track. Okay. So when we talk about, and this is what your protector angel is trying to do, is protect your resources and build them up to get you to a point where you are fully satisfied. You're feeling really fulfilled and in alignment with your life contract. And you are sort of set for life. Okay. With being able to have enough resources so that you can create even more, use it as leverage, invest, expand. Okay. Network, partnerships. Okay. All of this is a possibility. Yeah, I think I'm going to sort of leave it at that. Okay. I feel like I could go off on 2 or 3 other tangents here, but I'm just going to sort of leave it at that. Basically, stop being a victim and saying that it was all these circumstances or people and relationships and situations that put you in a place that you're unhappy with. It's like, I put myself in that place. I'm taking responsibility, holding myself accountable, and you know, I'm going to have a different perspective. The eagle flies above the storm. Okay, not down there with all the other birds who are doing the same old thing. Okay, and that is really the mentality in this day and age, is the blame game. Something went wrong. It's because of this or that, the other. Yeah, but why? But why? You know, that's true, but what else? Okay, and how do we prevent that, you know, from happening again? So much fulfillment for you. Okay, coming in here. If you could do this and a ridiculous amount of money, actually. I mean, enough that you could like retire early if you wanted to, which I think you might. Most people won't, but I think you would. This is very exciting. We are going to move on to Mark. Okay, Mark, aka Nature Calls You. All right, Mark, what healing message do we have for you? Why have you not taken the mic? Why have you not taken the mic? So your guardian angel is the epitome of those memes that joke around like, oh, my guardian angel is sitting at the bar having a drink at the end of the day. No, your guardian angel really is like sitting at the bar, like done. Why are you not taking the mic? You may have this perception of yourself. You may fear being perceived, but you may have this perception of yourself that you're just like behind the scenes guy, or, you know, this is what men do. Thank you, patriarchy, for limiting you on this. You got to deprogram from that. I'm not a tremendous healer. I'm not into that type of thing. I wouldn't even know what that would look like. You know, I don't want to be a leader. I don't want the camera on my face. I don't want the mic. I get it. But if you're called to do it, it's not really an option not to. It is a matter of time before you get forced into it, and then forced into it, and then forced into it again. It just cycles and keeps coming back around in a million different ways. You've been given leadership training, teaching, leading positions constantly. It just keeps happening. Don't you ever wonder why? You know, communications, you know, and with your work, just you try to do regular things, and that's never enough. It's always like, okay, put him in this higher up position, get him to see what he can do, what he can be, what he's meant to share. The microphone for you, and this is coming from your guardian angel, is right here, okay, to the right side. This is the future. This is your power outside. And this is soon. This is like 4 to 8 months. I see this unfolding again. So here comes back around again, another opportunity. 4 to 8 months, with it peaking in the 9th month out from now. So what that can look like for you is your guardian angel kind of bombarding you like now and over the course of that period of time leading up to the 4th month, with it peaking around 4 months as it like activates, and trying to get you to see through a series of dreams and flashbacks, some of them being past life flashbacks, people who are saying things to you. I always say humans are the mouthpiece for God. You know, people often say things like, oh, when a human says something to you that you needed to hear, it was an angel communicating through them, maybe. But it's more like humans are also energy and healing entities, right? And they're higher vibration. And so humans are the mouthpiece for God, the universe, the healing messages. So people are going to be saying a lot of weird things to you. And you're going to be like, how did they know to say that? Why did they say that? Did they know they said that? They probably won't remember that they said that. They probably have no clue that they even spoke. Okay, so that is channeling. That's trance. And you're going to catch these things, and it's going to be direction steering you onto this path closer and closer to this microphone. You are meant to mentor. You are meant to heal through direction, which means you don't just necessarily become a healer for people where they have to keep coming to you for it, but you give them the tools to heal themselves. I don't know. You get the picture. And then also, you may be working with male energy. So I'm not saying you have to go out and become like one of these podcast guys with the mic, and it's like, you know, I'm going to, you know, teach guys the way to live. But there is sort of an element here of that. And God knows it's needed. Take the mic away from the toxic dudes and give it to the right men. You know, they do need leadership. And there is a sense of you empowering people through your own experiences, through the wisdom that's being channeled through you. This isn't hard to do. All of it is already there. The work has been done, but it's like, at what point do you start giving it out? And this is a general message for everyone. There is a ton of reward that comes from that. but it is required. When we talk about alchemy and transmutation and we talk about our healing journeys, the third and highest level, which is required by the universe, is to give out the wisdom from your experiences. It's not hoarding that and being like, oh, good, well, I healed. You're not done yet. You're not done yet. Okay. Thank you for the hearts on TikTok. So that's exciting. Very much so. Vanessa Dempsey is next. Okay. Vanessa, what healing message? Rabbits, fertility, Vanessa. You going to get them? You going to take them in? You going to use them? Okay. A couple different things coming up for you. And this is also coming from your guardian angel, who watches over your mental and emotional well-being. I see all these rabbits coming in for you, and they're all white, which can be God energy, universal healing energy, intelligent life force energy, meaning it knows where it needs to go. This is fresh new beginnings. Okay. All things white are like starting over. And there are so many of them. Be careful if you're not looking to have a child. Okay. Because it could be pregnancy, but you're basically like, oop, there goes my TikTok. I have to do this puzzle. You know, you're essentially entering into a period of time of like fertility, potential expansion and growth. Did I fix it? I think I did. And abundance. All right. But you are sort of refusing. It's like you're refusing the rabbits. And I don't think by any means this is the first time you've done this. This looks like the fourth time in this life that you've done this. So your guardian angel is kind of hard hitting, like bothering you between 3 and 5:30 in the morning, the haunting hour. Showing up when you wake up. If you've been waking up and you've been hearing voices in other languages, weird songs, if you've been speaking in foreign tongues, you've been speaking in tongues. If you're hearing people speaking in tongues, if you're seeing cascading glitter or lights out of the corner of your eye, if you see orbs when you wake up shooting into the corners, blue and pink in particular, okay? If you feel like somebody's in your face, if you've been hearing your name audibly called as you doze off or wake up, this is your guardian angel trying to get your attention. I am under the impression that every time you almost hit your wealth point, this prosperity point, all of this expansion, you have a way of looking like, and what she's showing me is a tarot card where the guy is sitting. Let me know in the comment section which card this is, but it's like he's sitting under a tree and there are cups spilled on the ground around him and he's like this. Like, I'm not taking that. I don't want that cup, right? And I think there's like, isn't that like the hand of God is like giving him another cup? He's like, I don't even know. I don't even know what I want anymore. That's my impression of that card anyways, is like, no, I don't want to do this again. But that's funny that she mentioned this is, didn't she say this is the fourth time in that card? Are there not 3 cups? Isn't it like the 4 of cups or something like that? I don't know what I'm talking about, tarot, but anyways, that's odd. You may want to Google that. The point is, you are about to approach another opportunity. And this is coming up soon, like in the upcoming month even. Okay. So this has been like an ongoing process for you for a while, where you could have so much more, but you have to want it. There are people who are afraid of progress. They are afraid of achieving. They are afraid of new things coming in. And for you, in part, it is because you're afraid of outgrowing everyone and everything you currently have. And you know intuitively, instinctually, that this is going to bring the winds of change. It may feel like a terrible foreboding. It may feel like a bad thing coming in because you know it's going to rock your world. That people, circumstances, situations that you've been previously investing in that are preventing your growth may not be going with you. That's a tough pill to swallow. but it's got to go down. Okay. Pop the champagne and chug it if you have to. Swallow that pill. It is going to be worth it. It is a guarantee. And you cannot shrink yourself to stay with the same people and situations and lifestyle that has given you an illusion of growth or prosperity. These are more like breadcrumbs, but like stability and comfort. That is not the peak of wealth for you. Okay. And you need to heal that fear. You need to recognize it once and for all and face the reality that sometimes we do outgrow people and situations and circumstances, and that is good. Even if it's not comfortable, it is still positive and it's part of your calling. So you're reaching sort of an endpoint where it's like, you're not going to be given options for much longer. Okay. It's going to be change and transformation. You can do it the easy way or you can do it the hard way. All right. And just know you'll be hearing more from her. I don't know how you could be overlooking her at all, though, right now. This is ridiculously loud for you. Good luck with that. Very exciting. Okay. We have another one here for Hazel, aka Miami Heat. Okay. Hazel. Hazel, what healing message do we have for you? It's time for you to sweep out your house and don't be afraid to climb that mountain and don't be afraid to get out there. Now, I'm not saying you're necessarily leaving where you are for like, I'm going to take to the ocean. You know, I'm captain of this ship. Let's see where we go. I'm seeing the girl on Game of Thrones, the littlest sister, you know, when she finally got her map and her ship and it was like, I'm out, like I'm going, like she was so perfect in, her higher self and being in alignment with what she was meant to do in that moment. But you seem to also, because I'm also seeing visions of like New York City, it would be the equivalent of like, okay, I'm going to leave where I am. You know, I'm here in this little town in the Midwest, whatever. I'm going to New York City. I'm going to, you know, and that's crazy. It can seem crazy to do, but it isn't. People do it every day, right? It's this ability that you have to venture out. And what seems to be happening for you right now is shrinking of yourself, thinking small, being fearful that you can't, that it won't lead to anything good. I think you've ultimately gone through a lot of disappointment. I think you've had a lot of plans fall apart. I think you've had setbacks, and I think you've watched a fair amount of people, possibly even like in your family, you know, through your generational line, people who've raised you up, people in your inner circle that either play it safe, play it small, or they have stepped out and they've taken a beating. It didn't work. Things have fallen apart. You may also be looking out at the current climate of the world and saying, this is not the time. This is not the place. This is not the year. Look at the economy. You know, I can't step out and do what I really want to be doing. I can't pioneer this thing. I can't be the first one to do it. Not only can you should. And if you're being called to do it, meaning it's part of your life contract, it will be supported by the universe. And other people really can't do it. They could try. They should be worried. But interestingly enough, they're not. Okay, like you are. So I think that this is a time for you to do some healing on disappointments. There's a lot of healing that also needs to happen in your heart from dad energy, male energy. This could be patriarchal energy, toxic masculinity. This could also be authority. You may want to also look back through dad's side of the family. There's some healing that needs to happen there in regards to your heart and a feeling of being ground down, disciplined into submission, shrinking myself to avoid rocking the boat from male energy. Okay. You seem to want to take it off. Feels like a very heavy cloak. It's like I'm taking it off, I'm letting it fall to the ground, and I'm spreading my wings. Who knew under that big heavy cloak you had these beautiful big angel wings that you could use anytime you wanted? You know, it's like you're a butterfly and you've convinced yourself that you're like a caterpillar stuck in a pupa phase, and you're looking all around you and you're like, yeah, but all these other caterpillars are stuck in the pupa phase, you know? And it's like, what does that have to do with you? That has nothing to do with you. Okay. So stop the comparison. Stop overthinking things, move forward in blind faith, and have almost a sense of arrogance about it, you know, like a fake it till you make it type of attitude. It will pay off. But there's some healing in the heart that needs to happen here, because the level of disappointment is, I'm hearing like palpable, tangible. Okay, so heal the heart chakra. Spend more time on that. Next up is Tanya Rivera. All right, you guys, I don't know, are we near last call? Oop. Sorry, I haven't been paying any attention to the comment feed. You guys, if you haven't already done so, drop your donation and get your question in, or if you just want to receive a message, I'll deliver whatever is the most important thing for you to hear. All right, Tanya Rivera. Oh my God. You do? Okay. I'm going to have to pick up the pace a little bit here. Okay. Tanya Rivera. Tanya Rivera, what do I have for you? Tanya Rivera, healing message. So I have your protector angel stepping in here. The last 3 months, there was talk of something that happened 6 months ago and then 9 months ago. But your protector angel stepping in here and guarding your teeth. Now, guarding your teeth, and I can't prescribe or diagnose, this doesn't have to be literal, but be careful with grinding the teeth, TMJ, stress, clenching, literal dental work, you know, all the things. But this is symbolic of work and money change. The teeth. So whether it's showing up in your dreams, it's popping in your head, or a situation like this is coming up in messaging, the teeth moving, shifting, falling out, whatever it is, this is always work, money, career, investment change. And the protection that's been coming in here from your protector angel is to ensure that you aren't just like letting the chips fall where they may, like whatever happens, happens, you know, it's like, no, let's be a little bit more proactive. And I'm hearing guardianship, like be a guardian of your own resources and wealth and opportunities. Be a guardian of these things. You seem to have an understanding that if things are going to work, they will work this way. If things are going to work, it should look this way. If things are going to work, it will play out this way, and then I know it will work. And it's like that. None of that's true. Who told you that? It's like, where did you get that? So there's some confusion here that you seem to have constructed, like the ego part of your mind that is fear, manipulation, and control has designed certain standards and has told you that if we hit this mark, if you see this thing, it's a sign things are going in the right direction. And it's not true. Those are societal standards, not universal standards. So that's like junk. That's crap, right? That's the wrong way. You ever see one of those signs and it's like going this way and that way and this way and that way and that way and this way and that way? And it's like, what? Was that Tweedledee and Tweedledum? Is that where Alice in Wonderland met Tweedledee and Tweedledum at that crossroads? I don't know where that's coming from. But anyways, it's like this idea of like looking at that signage And you're not only taking it seriously and being like, okay, that makes sense. Let me just read it. And you're realizing there are no words on it. There aren't even any letters on it. So it's like, okay, it's blank. There is a need to recognize that the path forward is very simple and that it is going to require, I heard a couple different things from you, right? Adaptability at this time and a willingness to stick with it when you made up your mind. But first is that guardianship. It is that willingness to say, this change in my life that I'm making, this stuff that's on the chop block that needs to go, this new project that I'm building or working on, these things are important. It's not maybe someday a little bit important. It is the most important. And you need to guard it. I feel like guard it fiercely. So your protector angel is trying to help you through that, but they can only do so much. Okay. So we'll be hearing more about that. Thelma. Okay. Hernandez. Thelma Hernandez. You guys, I have to turn up the heater. And I'm going to run to the restroom real quick. This is getting quite a lot of feedback here, which is wonderful. I just want to not freeze to death while I do this. Hold on. Okay, thank you. So what are we on? Thelma Hernandez? Okay, Thelma. Oof, it's freezing in here. Where's this thing? Thelma Hernandez. Thelma. What healing message is coming in for Thelma? Don't be afraid to use the brakes when you need to, and don't be afraid to put like pedal to the metal, like push that gas, like drive off. There is this sense right now, and just slightly to the past, of you going through some significant changes where you are leaving things behind and you are coming into a greater position of power, hence the symbol of the car and you being behind the wheel of the car. These are all power symbols. This is not only about you creating movement in your life, but this is about a detox from leaving behind circumstances, people, situations that you'd previously been investing in or that were trying to get a free ride off of you, that were draining your energy, okay, that were preventing you from driving the car, so to speak, from moving forward. So you're in this great position right now where you have this wonderful vehicle. I mean, this looks like a Porsche. I mean, this is going to go fast. This is going to move clean. It's going to take the bends like a champ. I mean, this is going to be like a great ride. My right palm is itching like crazy. I mean, this is going to lead to like money, prosperity. I heard fame and fortune, which is basically going to mean that you're being seen and heard. And this is coming from your guardian angel, who comes through with a lot of strong masculine energy. This is no time to him and haw. This is no time to be self-defeatist. Okay, so if you've had an attitude of like, well, I'm afraid, I am not super confident I can go out on my own and do things. There is a strong sense of independence, autonomy, okay, and needing to have solidarity with your higher mind. There's the fleshy part of you, and then there is your higher mind. Your higher mind always knows the way, and you have to count on that. You have to trust that. And lean into that. You are done with the baggage. And now it's just a mental trick, okay? It's just convincing yourself that you can take an alternative route, that you can do it on your own. If you've had a tendency to wake up, you may not even hear yourself clearly. Pay attention to this. If you've had a tendency to wake up in the last couple of years, but I was feeling like in particular the last few months, waking up and saying like, I can't do this, or I need help. Or if you find yourself looking outside yourself to outside resources like, God, I hope something comes in, or I hope something comes to rescue me. You're at the end. You're at the end of that phase. The healing message here is to see yourself as the resource. Go inside yourself instead of looking out to banks and institutions and acceptance letters and promotional opportunities and, shared income over here with these people and the government, or what's their opinion, or what have they done? Forget it. Go inside. I am the source. I am the resource. What in me is untapped? What else can I do? What else can I use? What power do I have in me? And push on the gas. Okay. It's like, you need to move, you need to launch. I think ultimately you're saying, and it feels a little bit sad. The whole thing has felt sad. Now, I don't mean the whole show. I mean, your message has felt sad to me. It's almost like you're mourning your past self, your past relationships, your past life, your past circumstances. It's like, I don't want to leave it. I don't totally want to leave it behind. And I think that's fine, but you've spent enough time doing that. You already looked at that. It's like you're taking one last look. Okay? He says, you take one last look. Take one last look and go. Just go. Nothing that is meant to be with you will leave. Okay. Those things will stay with you, or they will come back around. But I feel you coming into a place of power, and this feels very, very personal for you. Like, for the first time in feeling empowered, it's like, I know myself, I'm speaking my truth in a million different ways. And then you will also be seen as a power player. So it's going to be pretty phenomenal what comes from this. Very personal. This is for you. Is that Delilah? Delilah. Okay. Delilah, what healing message is coming through for Delilah? You got to put your foot down and you got to stop repeating yourself. Okay. Now, you may have just recently figured this out and you're like, no, I'm not doing it anymore. I'm not repeating myself. But it's almost like a month of testing in this area. Could it be a week? I mean, this would be one hell of a week if it ends up being a week. I think it's more like a month of you getting tested in this area. So this is, both of your guardian angels coming in here. We do have your protector angel coming in because this one is guarding your finances, your wealth, your resources, your connections, your, I heard presentation, but I was also, the way he was showing it to me was like your, what's the word? Reputation? Her reputation? Yeah. Okay. That's serious. All right. That's like, we don't want to screw with things there. We don't want to have like a damage control situation come in. But also, if you had to, you had to. You know what I mean? It happens. I think that what's going on here, all right, ultimately, here comes Esmeralda Marie. Hello, Azzy. How are you? You are getting ready here to put your foot down and use your throat chakra, your voice, to say no to a whole bunch of things. If there is a friendship or some type of a more intimate relationship that may have group dynamics, involved even, where like you don't want to say no, or you don't want to speak the truth, or you don't want to get involved, or you would prefer to play nice. It's very off like a Band-Aid. Okay. Thank you for the hearts on TikTok. If you are dealing also with a situation, let's say at work or with your money, with shared income in any way, shared resources in any way. Okay. So that'd be like clients, a love partner, where we're financially entangled. This would be like at your job. I mean, all the things. You may be speaking your truth there as well and saying, no, I'm not going to tolerate this. So this is below me. This is beneath me, or this wasn't what was offered to me, or this isn't what the contract or verbal agreement was. You're putting your foot down in a bunch of different ways over the upcoming, I want to say, month, where you will be tested. And don't misunderstand this. These are tests. I prefer to think of them as opportunities, but they're going to feel like conflicts or potential attacks or just drama you have to deal with. And your inclination is to not. It's like, well, I'm not going to rock the boat. Well, that's not, you have said enough times. That's what your angel is saying here. You've said enough times, not my circus, not my monkeys. And that's not true. These are your freaking monkeys. You bought a ticket to this show. Okay. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. This also coming from your guardian angel, again, who watches over your mental and emotional well-being. It's hitting you on some personal notes, some chords here and I keep seeing like the guitar, the harp, the violin, like anything with like literal, maybe even the piano here, but listening to music may help heal you a lot. And you already know that. I mean, you're obsessed with your music, but I mean, going forward and as you deal with this, use it every day and try new forms of music, whether it be like the sound bowls or it be healing frequencies that you can leave on at night, but keep music around you. Drumming, okay, is used through like indigenous tribes, typically like right before an attack or to expel things, to cleanse, all of this. Use it as you need it. Okay. And know that anything that you do, say, pull back from, release, refuse to entertain, however you use your voice this upcoming month, don't worry about how it's going to affect you, like personally or personal relationships or things like that, because it's actually going to have the opposite effect where things work out even better for you. Sometimes we see the end and we're like, that's it. This is going to happen. And then this is going to happen. It's like, no, it isn't. No, it isn't. There are always these other potential future alternatives. And it's based on free will. so which we can't 100% predict. So, don't act like you can. This is going to be an eye-opening month for you. Okay. And you've got both of their support here. Let's move on to a fresh sheet. Wow, you guys are definitely loving the show up. I appreciate it. Please give positive feedback. Let me know in the comment section. If this is something you would like to see added to my website as an option you can buy or gift someone else, and if you would like to see this added to the 2026 show lineup, give feedback on how this is like helping you, what you like, any other suggestions. All right, Alicia Fulvi, Alicia F. What healing message is coming through for Alicia? Okay. You're entering into a period of time where it's like, I see you on a float. This is like the kind of float that would be in a parade. This is symbolic, I'm assuming. Okay, I'll take it how it resonates. But, this is a symbol of you being like, hello, like I'm moving forward, because floats are always like in the direction of the parade. It's like, here we go. You're waving, it's like you got your little sash on here. You're trying to entertain everyone. You're trying to be optimistic. It's like I'm wearing my game face. There is a sense here of you feeling a little bit isolated in all of that. Like nobody really understands you. And there is a desire to just sort of like get off the float. It's kind of like, I've gone a few blocks. I'm done with this. I'm out of throwing candy. I have no more candy, or you know what I mean, to give anybody. And it's like, can we be done? Are we there yet? There is a desire to get out from what you've been doing. And I think that what is happening here is you feel as though things are never going to slow down. You don't want to jump off a moving train, so to speak. And I think you aren't fully recognizing that that's the only way forward, is to just sort of like jump and roll. Okay. You'll be fine. It's not going that fast. Okay. It's moving. You may feel like it's a freight train moving 180 miles an hour. That's your life, but it's more like a float in a parade. And this is coming from your guardian angel, again, who watches over your mental and emotional well-being. And she's pretty hilarious about this. There is a lot of questioning, people questioning you. What are you doing? What are you thinking? Even Ezzy is questioning you. Come on up. Come say hi, mama. I love you. I love you too. My little black bear. She reminds me of a black bear. She's so soft. She's like a gund. There is a lot of questioning, but you don't have to answer anybody. You don't have to answer the other parts of your brain. Thank you for the hearts on TikTok. You don't have to explain yourself ever. All right. So maybe turn off the part of your brain that wants to entertain all these questions. What are you doing? What are you thinking? What does this mean? Where's it going? You can't do that. Yes, you can. And right now, you seem to also want some space. And I'm not going to sugarcoat. There is someone in particular, but this may be multiple people. Your guardian angel is saying that you're getting drained. Okay. When you want personal space from someone, it's not an opportunity for you to like shit on yourself. Okay. And make yourself feel guilty or like a horrible person or like I'm ungrateful or like I need to count my blessings, or like this person you may go in your brain and be like, well, here's a list of all the ways I'm like horrible, or they put up with, or what have they tolerated from me, or when have they been there for me or been patient for me? And like my right hand is itching. This is your power outside. One has nothing to do with the other. Okay, please don't knock over the cameras, ma'am. Thank you. If you need personal space, if you need a break, if you need time away, if you need to set better boundaries, then that's what you need to do. Okay. And this idea of you being still in this parade, and it's like, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming. This person is right up behind me. They're marching toward me. They're marching toward me. It's almost a sense of like, I can't get away. Like, how do I create this space? That's what you're going to need to figure out, but you definitely need to do it. Okay. Because you're getting drained. So if you've been having periods of like frustration, annoyance, aggression, even, okay, burnout, this is part of the reason why. So a couple different areas that need cleanup here. Mindy, healing message related to seeing 444 in my dream last night. Okay, great. Okay, we have our first question for Mindy. Why did I see 444 in my dream last night? Okay, love it. Little numerology. Doreen Virtue came up with angel numbers, angel cards. And then she created all these decks. And then she went bananas and she decided that Satan told her to make those decks. And she became a born-again Christian. And she fought hard to get all of her decks removed from like any platform that was selling them and Google and everything else. Okay. And that she isn't legally allowed to do that. So that's the foundation. This cuckoo story is the foundation of angel numbers. All right. So you could dismiss whatever you've been told because the big one in angel numbers is 4. This is why I'm bringing this up. Okay. That 4 represents your angels coming through and giving all of this like love and support in this healing, way about something. And it's like, okay, that's not really it. Angels do, in fact, use a lot of numerology, but so do your ancestors, so do guides, so do dead people, like so do animals, living or deceased, so does your higher mind. Everybody uses numerology. If you're a numerology person, okay, they're going to use it. Even if you're not, from time to time, you'll still get it. So we want to be careful with that. But the truth behind numerology, and I have a whole numerology course up on my website. If you guys, ever want to learn those numbers, go take that class. But 4 is about change in one specific area of your life. And it is signifying here because it came up 3 times, the Trinity, right? So the number 3 is your life path, your past lives, your karma, your life path, your north node. In astrology, we would say where you're headed, okay? Your life's work, that's 3, and being in alignment with that. So in seeing 3 4s, you got a double message, which is huge, huge. And that is that you have massive change going on in one area of your life right now. And that it is in alignment with divine timing in your life path. A significant acknowledgement from the universe, not just your angels, but also your angels, that you are doing it. It's like, give her a pat on the back, pop the champagne. Okay, give her this acknowledgement that you are needing to just continue for a while because it isn't done yet. It's huge. It's a very, very big deal. Okay, but if you were to Google that as like an angel number, it would be like, your angels love you. You know what I mean? Those aren't real. Don't even bother. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Okay, Tiffany Williams. Tiffany Williams. All right, Tiffany, what healing message is coming up for Tiffany Williams? You're doing some heart healing in regards to like, I can't tell if this is your father or if this is also like your grandfather, but this seems to be a male who also I feel like you may be worried about. Okay, there's a lot of concern that you may have over like his health or his passing, a sadness also from a feeling of unfinished business, not receiving everything you should have received or wanted to receive or feel, you need to receive from a male energy in your life that also feels paternal energies. So in order for you to complete, because sorry guys, my stomach is getting louder and louder. I am fasting. It's getting ridiculous. Let's ignore it. Let's try hard. Yeah, it's like you're already in this process of healing your heart chakra. I would say 2 years. You've been working on this, maybe like 2 years. The last year and a half has been pretty intense. 7 months ago, you had a breakthrough. 3 months ago, you had another small-ish breakthrough. 3 weeks ago, you had some payout in this area, which is beautiful, but which essentially means you're attracting things now, right? You're in alignment. So manifestation is happening. We're starting to see it. We're starting to see the results from all that hard work. But, and I'm hearing this from your guardian angel, who's also male, which is beautiful. This may be a way for you to heal from this male energy. Being that your guardian angel is male, you can lean into that safe masculine energy, but he is referring to it as the final nail in the coffin. There may have been some incidents that happened here through this paternal line, this masculine energy in the family, and in your life that really broke your heart by not giving you, again, what you needed. You could call it abuse, you could call it neglect, you can just say that it's karmic debt. If you don't want to label it in that way, it's karmic debt for sure. Okay. So they owe you, but we can't wait on them to pay us. Now they will have to. Okay. It's debt owed, but you want to get it yourself. You want to do the healing yourself. You don't want to be waiting on them. Especially if they put the problem there. Okay. And it is an opportunity for you right now to sort of wrap this up by focusing on the last of your heart chakra healing that you need to do, by examining that sadness, that heaviness, that feeling that you have where you A, didn't get what you needed, and then B, you worry and overgive to that male energy, that same male energy. Okay. And while the roots may be in the paternal line, it doesn't mean that today it hasn't spread out to all types of relationships. So you're going to have to examine everything. And this can be very exciting to come out of this cycle because, like I said, you're already seeing the progress. You're already getting the payouts. Okay. It's a big, big deal. This is so small. Icy Zitrina. Okay. We're going to have to, my brain is gone. Make these bigger. Okay. Later. Okay. Not in this show, but later. Icy Trina. Hello. Ivy. My name is Christina. All right. There we go. Christina. Can I have a message from my angels and guides? I feel they may have messages to deliver. Right. Well, and that is the show. So Christina, a message for Christina. What healing message is for Christina? You're afraid. You're afraid. It's like I'm shrinking. You remind me of a little kid or like a dog who got yelled at or is afraid to like look their master in the eye. But what is the master in this human experience? The universe. Okay. I fear no person. I fear no situation. I fear no problem. Okay. It's the universe that I need to be working with. The universe is the stage. Everything else, these are just the actors within this. I think that what you're doing in life right now is that you're shrinking. And I do have your protector angel coming in here, which means it's going to potentially cost you like literal wealth. That could be coming through opportunities in networking or partnerships, but also like just cash, just straight up cash. And what appears to be a promotion. So a position, cash, networking. All right, let me just put a position, cash, networking. And yeah, so that's a promotion. What may be happening is that you're shrinking yourself, and you have a way of your protector angel is funny in this, in that she and she's a little like masculine, like she's a little butch. She has a way of like mimicking you and pretending to that you have a way of going out into the world and being like, I got it. You know, you talk a big game. You seem like a big alpha dog. You come with a lot of energy and performance, right? And you could really play the part, but it's like, why don't you do that for your own inner self? That small child, that scared dog that's like shaking and shrinking. Because when you display yourself in the world in this way, you're giving other people permission to authentically be themselves and to be bold and to, you know, lean into that type of energy. It's like giving great advice, but like, why aren't you taking your own advice? I see you also curling your toes inside your shoes or your slippers, which is symbolic of trying to shrink. Is it the Chinese women who do this? Who does that? Binding with their feet? I'm not super familiar. I think it's Chinese, not Japanese, but anyways, they do that to shrink, to seem smaller and more like timid and shy and childlike, you know? I think that you shrink because you think it's your only real source of power. It's your only way to make power moves, but it puts you in a position of submission and passivity, you know, waiting to receive. Manipulation, yes, thinking you're playing your cards the right way, because there was a time when, as a woman, that was the only way to play your cards. You know, if you're dark skinned, you pair up with a white person to get ahead. If you are a woman, you pair up with a man to get ahead. This is all about getting access to resources that you could get on your own. You don't need to play this game anymore. You don't need to shrink anymore. You need to shake this off, okay? Shake this out and reassess, because you are absolutely shrinking literally in your shoes. Like, how much smaller can I be? Or I don't want to, or I'm trying to appear smaller than what I am. And those are your symbol, meaning your shoes, your feet, for movement, which means as long as you do that, you stay in the old way, the old system, you aren't allowed to have the growth that you could. And so that can cost in all three of these areas. Again, that's promotion, position, straight up cash, and networking. So your protector guide's taking it pretty seriously here. Okay, move out of that. Sometimes that's very deep rooted, very hidden. Eric Evans. Okay, Eric Evans. Eric, what healing message is coming through for you? I feel like this is a period of time, and this is coming from your the mental, emotional well-being, your protector angel and your guardian angel. So your guardian angel. Okay, there's a period of time right now where you need to speak more. It's like you have a desire to speak more, is how I'm getting this. And your desire to speak is really based on you wanting to clear your head and not have this jumbled ball of like yarn, you know? It's like all of this is just knotted up together. I can't make anything out of this. This could be a good time for therapy, because having that soundboard And if you have already been doing any kind of therapy, maybe pick a different therapist. Do a new type of therapy that's, I'm hearing somatic. Is that what it's called? I'm hearing that you need to get into something that's a little bit more driven in a like specified toward a healing method, instead of just like sitting there and talking and babbling, and not having a therapist who's directing it in a more productive manner. So, we see this a lot, and I'm not saying that you went through trauma necessarily, although there is some stuff back in childhood that does need to be dealt with that may grind you down, where you may have either been like yelled at or told you weren't enough. This feels like it's coming from masculine energy. I have a woman backing it, though. Even if it didn't start with her, she may have fed it. And so it can hit you in regards to self-identity, self-esteem, and ultimately self-neglect, self-sacrifice. If you have found yourself being a bit of like a martyr, a victim, wounded healer syndrome, which is where you like overgive, you overreach, you get out of your lane. You don't know boundaries. You don't know how to establish boundaries. But even when boundaries are there, you don't recognize them. So you don't really know how to maintain them. Even when they are set, or you set them or try to set them. So everything's falling apart, tumbling apart. And I keep seeing this need to, it's almost like go back. Now, if you were to choose a trauma therapist, they would help pull that information out from you. And it would be less talking and chit chat about how my week went, and more of like a divisive plan to move forward. Okay. Get to the bottom of things, get to the root. But I think a different form of healing, whether it be somatic or otherwise, where you're seeking some type of therapy, though, where you can communicate, there's communication involved, is key right now, because this didn't just wound your heart. You don't just have wounding there that needs healing and transmutation. You also have throat chakra issues that are blocked. Both are directly connected. And so it's through communication that you learn a lot. You may feel like you are babbling, but you hear yourself and you connect the dots. You're putting ideas, you're stringing ideas together to get a whole picture. And you may be feeling at this point in your life, either you don't have the right kind of friends to talk to, or you don't want to put this on your friends, or anyone you've talked to in the past, like it wasn't really as helpful as you had hoped. Okay, so that's what you're getting encouragement to do. Also, your guardian angel is mentioning Labyrinth, the movie Labyrinth. Was it David Bowie? Where it's like you're feeling in life in general right now because of this. You don't recognize, hence the message, that it's because of this. But the part in Labyrinth where the staircases were moving and everything was like tumbling down and then everything got revealed? Okay, it's like, go back and watch that. That's what I feel is happening right now. It's almost like a spell has been put on you. And in large, you did this to yourself in your early 20s. But because of that information that was coming at you, and now it's like you want to break it down. It's like you are him, anyways, I think that moving forward, you're going to have an intensity with this for the next 3 months, and you can't rush it. Okay, it's going to go at its own pace. You do your part and allow your angel to bring you the next thing that you need to work on. You allow her to do her part. But yeah, I definitely feel movement there. Amanda is next. This is Amanda Zekagny. Sorry if I butchered that. Okay, Amanda. And if you could let me know, Kim, how many more we have, so I can see if I need to adjust my schedule. It's still freezing in here. Amanda, what healing message is coming through for you? Okay. You have a bit of a mountain to climb. If you have recently started something new, you may feel like I'm at the bottom of this mountain, or I'm at the bottom of a staircase is how your guardian angel is showing it. Okay. And it's like I'm okay. When I start this, I'm like, I have energy. This is going to be great. And then you get up like 2 or 3 steps and you're like, this is fine. Uh-oh. It's like, I don't want to climb this mountain. I don't want to climb all these stairs. Like, how many stairs are there? It's almost like I can't even see the top. That's how you may be feeling about this transition. But ultimately, this isn't even about the transition. It's not about the new thing. It's not about achieving. It's not about getting to the top. It's not about any of this. And she's trying to keep you in alignment with the truth, especially at night through your dreams. So be watching for the symbology that is coming up in your dreams. Jot it down, right? Don't roll over, go pee, get a drink of water. Don't move. When you wake up, jot down the main symbology and then look it up in the morning and spend 15 minutes with your dreams, recouping the rest of the information. This is simply the platform, the forum through which you can learn this master skill, which is pacing yourself, choosing yourself, regulating yourself. You could say patience. Okay, patience is a virtue as part of this for sure. This is about reparenting yourself and not being so harsh that your self-esteem, your inner voice and dialogue towards yourself becomes toxic and pushy and like a sergeant and negative when you're not doing enough or when you didn't hit as many steps as you wanted in that day. This reminds me a lot of weight loss. I used to be a personal trainer. That's the second time this came up in this show. It reminds me of a lot of my clients, because I eventually, in personal training, I decided to work with women who had just had babies, who were like postpartum and stuff. Because I saw the most success with them and we vibed really well. And they wanted it. They had a hunger for it, okay, to get back their old bodies. But when they didn't do well that week and they would come in for their training session and the scale went up, not down, or, they admitted that they hadn't worked out since the last time they saw me and they ate a bucket of chicken or chocolate ice cream or whatever, you know what I mean? And like shit happens. That's life. That's going to happen. You derailed. It's okay. Sometimes you have to derail just to survive. It's okay. But they would get so down on themselves. And it wasn't coming from me. I wasn't getting down on them. I'm strict, but I wasn't tearing them down. I was building them up, helping them to refocus. But some of them had such a shitty way of talking to themselves. Their inner voice was so disciplinarian, that nasty parent in their head was so bad. Sometimes instead of just missing 1 week or falling off for 1 week, they would start missing their appointments and it would go 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and they're packing on the pounds. Sometimes they wouldn't even use their gym membership again. You have to be careful the way you talk to yourself. And I think I'm just going to leave it at that. You are in this place where you are ready to kind of reparent, reprogram, and it's going to be a beautiful thing. Okay. But you're going to be hearing a lot from your angel about how to do this when you're being tested in this area. Mostly, I want to say for the next month and a half, but this will trickle on for like 7 months total. But mostly in the dream state. All right, we are going to move on to, okay. I'm going to have to go to the bathroom again. I'm sorry, guys, but like I've been drinking so much of this tea to keep my growls down from fasting. And now I have to constantly go to the bathroom. So next up is Toby Jenkins, and I will literally be right back. Okay, give me 2 seconds. Ezzy, what are you doing, Mama? Mama. I know, I see you, and I love you. All right, where are we in time here? Yeah. All right. TikTok, I don't think I'm gonna lose you, but I have to switch screens. It should be perfectly fine, okay? But in the event that I do disconnect, I'll just restart the live. Okay, thank you. It should be fine. Just hold on a minute. Okay. So I want to take this and I want to do this. What is it? Oh. Oh, Ezzy. Mama, come on. You coming up? You guys say hi to everybody? Okay. Nope. And she's off. All right, we're still good. I think we're fine. Okay. Good. All right, so we are moving on to Toby. Come on, you can come on up. I don't need the whole chair, Mama. Come on. Toby Jenkins. Toby. What healing message is coming through for Toby? This is going to be an important time. You may be feeling it already the next 4 to 5 months. It's like revving up. I'm getting closer to this thing. This is an opportunity for you to move into more of a leadership position, create more wealth and income for yourself, showcase more of your creativity, your ability. I heard creativity, which could be like musical if you're into anything like that. But I was also seeing this in a more mainstream kind of like work environment. So possibly to increase your position of like power, leadership, things like this. But I was going to say more like skill set, I think is more accurate. The thing is here, you have to be careful not to come at it from a place of ego, arrogance, aggression. There's a big difference between assertion and aggression. Healthy ego that, keeps you going in life versus fear, manipulation, and control. There is a certain presentation that's going to be, I was going to say required, and I'm getting this from your protector angel who's watching over your wealth, your prosperity, your networking, your well-being, but also I want to say your health. Okay. I can't prescribe or diagnose, but there's a certain amount of regulation that's going to be required. And this is going to present, you are going to present either as being in alignment with yourself and the work and others, or really out of whack. And it could come off as offensive in some ways, or like you can't handle it. So everything is affected by energy, and everything and everyone is simply reacting to energy. And once you level up and you're in a position like that with greater influence, access to people in these situations, we do run the risk of this surfacing and having a negative reaction, side effects, consequences. I think that any area where you have to heal from your past, where you have felt small, or your protector angel is saying smaller than. So did someone make you feel small? Okay. Who made you feel small? What made you feel small? What and who minimized you? Who took away from you your ability to just be comfortable in a position of power and leadership? Who took away from you your position of feeling as though you're deserving of wealth, prosperity, abundance, opportunity, okay, love even? Who rattled you? What rattled you in that area? That's the work you need to be doing. That's the healing work that's going to be coming in. And what you may be feeling right now is maybe a little bit of a terrible foreboding. Like, my boat is about to be rocked. I can feel like the other shoe's going to fall. The winds of change are coming. Maybe you're starting to feel some of that, but you also have a sense of like excitement, like something great is around the bend. Like, I'm about to level up. I can feel it. I know it. It's in my bones. It's coming. It is. All of this is true. And instead of analyzing the heck out of all of that, I would just pay attention to when it is that you feel you are getting anxious, you are working from a place of ego, which is fear, manipulation, and control, instead of from your center. Okay, you are wanting to manipulate things or make very clear that you are capable, that you are deserving, that you are a power player. You know what you're doing. The minute you're trying to prove yourself, your angel says, that's the minute you take a step back. Okay? So you'll be working more on that. And you'll be hearing, quite a lot more from him. Okay. Alicia Killian. Alicia is next. Okay. And yes, and I would love to see also Kim, maybe more at the end, but like any feedback that came in, if you can pop it up at the end. I'm very curious to see how this is being received. So I'm totally out of the loop right now. Alicia, did I say Killian? Okay. Alicia Killian. What healing message? What does Alicia need to know? Got my jaw popping with you too. You may be going through a period of time where you are like worried about resources and worried about people in your life who appear to be like elders. This could be like parents. This could be just literally elders. This could be just, old relationships. But it's almost like you're worried that these areas are going to fall apart. And who will like rescue me? If they do, what will come in to assist me in rebuilding. Can I rebuild? Should this happen? And it's like, why is the brain going over there to those stressful thoughts? I do wonder if that's what's leading to the grinding of the teeth. And I can't prescribe or diagnose, but if you do find yourself grinding your teeth, TMJ, dental stuff, stress, headaches, and things like this, anything, especially that you may do at night in your sleep, that leads to tension through here and up here. I wonder if you don't have a lot of help right now is part of the issue. If you feel like you're doing everything yourself, you feel like all the weight is on your shoulders. And I think a lot of people feel this way, where maybe you're surrounded by a bunch of people, you're entangled in a bunch of situations, but it's like, why am I the only one doing everything? What would happen if I stopped? What if I let all these balls that I'm juggling just like drop to their ground? Would people step up? Would they come in? Would it be recovered, or would these just all be losses? Would it continue to deteriorate? What would happen? So there is this sense of you already feeling, if you admit it, like you're not getting the support you need. And in part, and this is your guardian angel coming in here, in part, what she's talking about here is this being a bit your fault, because you've had an attitude of I can, I will, I should, I could. If I can, I should. And it's like, no, just because you can doesn't mean you should. You have to use more discernment. If something needs to be done, it's not for you to run to. If somebody puts something on your plate, it's not for you to always finish. You're taking on more than what you should have. And now you've gotten yourself into maybe a lifestyle, a position where there's a ton of that going on. And the way it's playing out for you right now, mentally and emotionally, aside from this tension, this stress, this nervousness, that like the balls are going to drop, it's you focusing it mentally on things like, what if my resources fall apart? What if I don't have enough? What if I can't get more? What if this thing that I'm working on doesn't really take off or expand? What if this is all there is? What if there were an incident and I were to lose a lot of resources? How would I compensate for that? And looking at, like I said, the elders. Like, who's going to come rescue me? Or am I going to have to take care of them? Or what happens if they like pass away or something goes wrong with them? Or like, it's almost like trying to attach yourself either through over caretaking and outreaching to them, or, just panicking that they'll be gone. It's like you're trying to keep them there. These figures that once represented to you caretaking, an escape, childhood, help, some type of comfort level. So this is an opportunity for you to evaluate, examine, be honest about, get comfortable in the discomfort, and accept where you have overgiven, where you're being drained, and face the reality that you can't juggle all those balls forever. So how do we slow this roll down? Okay. How can you take your power back and stop worrying about these like what ifs? What if this falls apart? What if that falls apart? What if they disappear? What if I don't have any more help? You don't have any help now. You're already there. You are everything for everyone. You're doing it all. You're already doing it all. Okay, so we don't have to worry about that. Now imagine what you could achieve if you took your energy back, you took your power back. Okay, and maybe a bunch of situations and people would kind of fall off. Maybe their balls would fall. Maybe those aren't even your balls to juggle, but like maybe they wouldn't do well. Who cares? Who cares how they do? Okay, that's not your problem. That's not your business. So take back what's yours. Thank you. Jessica Murphy. Jessica Murphy. Jessica, where are we? Okay, we're doing good on that. All right. Jessica Murphy. Healing message for Jessica. Healing message for Jessica Murphy. You have a guardian angel coming in here, a male. Kind of wide, like pretty tall, but also like wide. He's a little bit of a big mouth, and you may be too. There's talk of you taking the microphone and getting ready to go off into greater position of leadership and speech, communication, directing, teaching, leading, telling people what to do, telling things where to go. This would have just started brewing in the last 1 to 2. Could it be days? It could. I was going to say months. So getting the mic. All right. What is this all about? This is about you being able to maintain it through new systems. I don't think this is the first time you've spoken. I don't think this is the first time you've gotten the mic. I don't think this is your first leadership position. Again, he has a big mouth. I feel like you have a big mouth. I feel like whether you think of yourself that way or you even want to speak, you get put into these positions. So it's not really a choice. It's a calling. So it happens. You derail whatever else you were planning on doing, and you end up, needing to speak. But I do think that you have fallen into a bit of a pattern of, I'm hearing recognition, where you don't fully recognize the point. You don't recognize why this is happening, and you're not using it because you don't recognize it. You're not using it to truly hit a level of like peak performance, but in fulfillment, finding fulfillment of your work. So examining what is within your life contract, plug, you can book that with me anytime, but this is what you signed on to before you came to Earth. If you don't want to do it with me, go see a really great astrologer or get your numerology chart done. All 3 match, but these show the purpose, jobs, why you came to Earth, what you're here to do. And I think that what's happening is that you've been like grabbing up these opportunities, or even when you didn't want them, you ended up sort of like taking them or having to take them. And you're going through the steps and you're saying, I'm fairly impressed with myself. Like, this is kind of funny. I didn't think I'd be doing this, or I didn't want to do this, or like, yeah, okay, I kind of like it. I like having the power or the recognition or the pay, whatever it is. It's helping me with networking. I'm seen, I'm heard, I feel relatively, I guess, fulfilled in that aspect, but you're not seeing that you've been called to do something greater with this. And it's a little bit lazy, in all honesty, because it's like, why have you never looked at this and been like, how can I use it? What am I really driven to do? What do I have to say? Who do I want to help? Where do I want to create revolution? What's the bigger picture? What's the point? Like, where's the fire in the belly, instead of just like, okay, I'll take that paycheck, Oh, good. Medical. Yeah. Okay. I'll take the promotion. Yeah. People listen to me. Yeah. This makes me feel like pretty good about my presentation or who I am. Almost like it's becoming a part of your identity, and it's becoming a false part of your identity because you didn't even really want that in itself. So there is a calling here to make sure you're paying attention to where you feel ignited, inspired, driven to talk to certain groups of people, to speak your truth, to be more creative in the work that you do, to be in greater positions of leadership through like autonomy, independence. This could even be like independent contracting, consultant work, business ownership, entrepreneurship, all the things. But what do you have to say? And how can you organize and orchestrate something more meaningful, than where you have been? Because you're kind of sitting in it and it's like, I've hit a ceiling, and this is what's coming up. It's like, I'm here, but I'm numb. I've definitely hit a ceiling. And when you're in a position and you're like, I feel like this is it, So the healing there is going to be more in regards to your life contract. Ash, Spear. Okay, Ash is next. Okay, Ash, what healing message is coming through for Ash? You seem a little pissed. I see a ball coming at you. Doesn't really matter, but it looked like a soccer ball to me. So take it out, resonates. Maybe you're playing ball with some kids or the dogs or something, that's fine. But the symbol of the ball coming at you, and this is your guardian angel coming in here, as well as your protector angel. Your guardian angel is showing the ball coming at you, which is symbolic in my symbol base of fun, feeding your inner child, childlike adventure, being well balanced. Kids know innately how to take care of themselves. They want to play, they want to sleep, they want to eat. They want to whatever their bodies want to do. And they'll lay down, they'll sleep on the floor when they need to. They're not going to wait. They're not going to be like, what else is on my to-do list that I need to get done? How can I get ahead of the game for tomorrow? They're not doing any of that crap. You know what I mean? I think that little girl on the beach who's like, I'm going to take a nap right here. I'm going to take a nap right now. She did. She laid down. She took a nap. That was it. And they don't apologize for wanting to play. I think that what's going on with you and what your guardian angel who watches over your mental and emotional well-being here is talking about is, your guardian angel keeps trying to kick this ball over to you to get you to turn off the thinking, the plotting, the planning, the caretaking, the nervousness, the stress thinking, the what about the future, the what about current circumstances, what else needs to be done, I'm worried about this or that or the other. It's like, enough, just play with me. And I feel like it's your inner child asking that of you. Just play with me. Just let me out to play. So this could look like you resting. This could look like you literally engaging in something, that makes you feel uplifted or motivated. There are a million ways to do that. It does feel a little bit like independent play. So if you've been needing more personal space or time away, whether you've been feeling guilty about that, or you feel like, well, this is where my obligations are to these people, it's like, okay, yeah, but your biggest obligation is to yourself. Period, point blank. Has always been the case, will always be the case. And learning how to take that truth and put it at the very top of your priority list every single day is a mastery skill, a master skill. So knowing how and when you need to take personal space is also part of this. Does that feed your inner child? Yes, 100%. But it also feeds your higher mind. And so you're able to be more in alignment with that, because what you feed, you get more of. So if you're depriving yourself, right, you're going to be out of alignment. So being in connection also here, with your higher mind, right, with your inner child, having a higher vibration. And it is biblical even that if we are to lose our power, we will be attacked in joy. We'll be attacked and not allowed to play. That steals our energy level. Okay. And everything goes downhill. You're protecting this. And this is where I think your protector angel is really coming in. It's like a defense on your health and your well-being. I can't prescribe or diagnose, but this is about mental health, I think, at the core. And it's about not being so pushy and abusive with yourself that clearly came from outside sources way back when. And allowing yourself to find better tools and then utilize those tools. And I'm using the word allowing yourself because this disciplinarian in your head doesn't let you do it. Won't let you do it. Won't let you toy around with that. Won't let you get in alignment. Won't let you take personal space. Won't let you do the things you really want to do. So this isn't necessarily something that you will be gaining through a therapist, even though this is a lot about mental health, the inner child and whatnot. It just doesn't really feel like that's where you're gaining it. Now, I'm not, again, I can't prescribe or diagnose. I'm not saying don't go, or that if you're seeing someone, it's a waste. That's not it. But there is this sense of like, you need to do this on your own. This is an inside job. And this is a job where you need to slow down to recognize that you already have the tools. You're just not applying them. You need to allow yourself to apply those tools. And the way you do that is through being more disciplined in a loving way with yourself, to essentially give yourself what you want, give yourself what you need, and forget the rest. Okay. You got to turn that brain off though, because you have all types of scenarios. I would also be a little more confrontational. And this is, I think, the second collective message I got tonight. If your brain has a way, and listen to it carefully, because it's doing it. Even if you listen to this, you're like, I don't think I do that. Listen carefully. If your brain has a way of showing you things, what if this happens? What if that happens? Don't allow this. Do this so that this doesn't happen. The what ifs. Talk back to it and be like, yeah, and what if? And let's see. I don't know. Let everything fall where it may. I'm not going to try to control all that. Talk back to it. Don't just let it run you all the time. We're going to move on to Deborah Rose. Okay. Okay. Yeah, and I see some of you saying like, oh, I was after so-and-so. Kim will put them in whatever order she wants to. So it may look like there is a specific order going on, like based on like payment or when you guys showed up, but you don't know what's going on behind the scenes. So she's doing probably a different order than the way it may appear in the chat, because we've got 3-4 different platforms working here. So it could look a little different. So Deborah Rose, what is coming up? Healing message for Deborah Rose. I feel like you are learning to speak up more about what it is that you want, and it is directly affecting circumstances that have been holding you back and your ability to move forward. Not in any direction, because I feel like you're in a place in life where like, I don't want to move forward in just any old direction. I would rather not move forward at all than to move forward in the wrong direction, So let's do this right, or we're not doing this at all, and I think that's the right attitude. I do think that what you're supposed to be doing more of right now, though, and this is coming from your guardian angel, who does come through here with a lot of masculine energy, but he's very well balanced. Like, he looks like a guy, but he reminds me of like a gay guy. He's got a lot of feminine energy that comes through. Like, he may read more as a feminine than masculine, but I'm getting this as both. He comes in here talking about you being in a place right now where you're like, I want to be seen, I want to be heard, in particular with career. And being able to make advancements with your titles, networking, partnerships, your resources, of course. But this is maybe even like a retirement plan, okay? Because I'm even seeing the far off future and what this means. But this is requiring of you to do the small stuff first. And this is where I feel you're failing a bit. And need to do some healing work. This could be calling in a therapist. This is about you learning how to dictate the way you communicate out to the world. instead of just like, well, this is how I've always done it, or this is what I think, or this is what I feel, or it is what it is. It isn't what it is. It is what you make it. It is what you decide it is. And if you have been holding back in family relationships, any type of more like interpersonal or like partnerships, anywhere there's intimate bonds of any kind, that doesn't just mean sexual in my readings. That's just like intimacy. Like we share our feelings, we share our thoughts, right? In a deep way. We help each other process. If in those relationships you have been refraining from speaking your truth, setting boundaries, acknowledging when they're not working, and you need to move away from that more, if you need to engage in new relationships, you feel like those aren't necessarily going very well, we're not reaching the level of depth that you had hoped to, this is an opportunity in these seemingly smaller ways for you to really kind of take that mic and express yourself. But instead, I feel like you've been shrinking a bit. It's this feeling of, well, I don't want to rock the boat. Well, it is what it is. It is what it is. But the point is that you communicate. Don't also, forget, there are a million different ways to communicate. And when we're talking about the throat chakra, it's not just about what you say. It's what you don't say. It's about what you entertain mentally, what you entertain emotionally. Cyclical patterns of thoughts, worry. Well, what does that say? Well, you're saying to the universe, right? I feel out of control in this situation, for example, or I have fear in this area that I'm not addressing. So it's in the smaller things that you need to be doing more work, because you've done well, like out there in the world or in the business world, within your field, in career, attaining resources, networking, like all these things have gone well. And so you can visualize what the next level up is going to be, what the next step is going to be. But you're not understanding that you can't have that without this. This has been neglected. Sometimes it's easier to build ourselves up out in the work environment, the real world, so to speak, because there's such a formula there. It's so shallow. But in our personal life, it's incredibly difficult. And with our own selves, it's the most difficult. Who'd have thunk it? That talking to your own self is going to be the hardest thing you ever do, right? But it is. And the idea here of your feet, being a little bit stuck, it's like, this is your movement, this is your mobility. So circumstances that have been holding you back, or if you've been waiting on information or breakthroughs, we're going to have some healing in that area. If you do this and then movement forward, which is the right foot. So a feeling of you launching. But you've got to speak your truth in other areas. This can also be, I'm hearing this as we move on from your angel here. This is about you saying no. You seem to have some troubles just saying no in general. And this could also be something you get real meticulous with for yourself. If that's like, no, I can't eat that, or no, I can't have that, or, maybe you're real strict on like health regimes or things like this. It's either that or it's the polar opposite where it's out of control. But you may use areas like that to accomplish a lot and then feel like, well, everything else can be dismissed. This is what's really important. If I can do it here, I'm clearly doing it. No. That just means you're doing it in that area. So just be careful, not to mask things. So another throat chakra healing message coming up here today. Let's move on to Bethany Renner. Bethany Renner. What message is coming up for Bethany? A healing message for Bethany Renner. You need to be the freight train. Okay, 180 miles an hour. I'm moving in this direction. You're telling everyone and everything you had previously been engaging in or investing in. Look, I don't know what to tell you. Okay, maybe I will let you on this train. At the next stop, you may have to get off, but this is where I'm headed. This is about boundary setting. Potentially, this is about detoxing. So if you have found yourself in a bunch of situations that are feeling unfulfilling, or just in life am feeling unfulfilled, if I have some ants in my pants, your guardian angel is saying, to move forward, I want something else. I want something better. I want the next chapter. I want something different. This is all part of that. And, this is something you seem to have already started. I'm hearing the last month, but something happened 3 months ago and something happened 5 to 7 months ago. There was a whole process from the 7th month to the 5th month back. So that was a big chunk of time, where you were doing this. You were saying, I am the freight train. I am moving forward. This is where I'm going. I'm making change. I'm sticking to it. I'm holding the line, on these boundaries. And that's great. But this is time for the next, level up. And it could be affecting you mentally, emotionally, physically. I can't prescribe a diagnose. But I do also have your protector guide popping in here talking about sadness in your heart, and how, even though that may seem like, well, doesn't that fall into the guardian angel, mental and emotional? Not when it can affect you physically. When it's affecting you energetically to this extent, we need to do some purging and healing some more. Okay. So this could be a great time for shadow. And again, I can't prescribe a diagnosis, but this could be a great time for shadow work. This is a great time for you to investigate what types of heartaches you've had and even organize it. Your angels are suggesting like a series of books, which makes everything sound horrible. Like, life has been so horrible, I'm going to make a whole library out of this. You know what I mean? I got 5 different journals I need. I don't see them getting filled. Okay. I don't think it's that bad. But organizing things in such a way we're not putting it all into one journal, for example, or trying to tackle it all at once is a better way to say that, maybe. Putting into different categories the different ways your heart has been hurt, the different ways your heart hurts, period. And accepting that there's a lot more healing that needs to be done with that, and that it's time to start bringing that in. I would also, is your gateway to healing here, and resolution. Okay, good. But I also heard that like your train has stopped. So it's almost like, if you've ever I took the train across from New York State all the way to California. It took 10 days. It was amazing. But every time it stopped, it was an opportunity to kind of go off onto the platform and like buy from, the indigenous people from that area, or artists and musicians were there, like whoever, like the platforms were full. It was freaking amazing. I loved it, right? It's like your train has stopped and you're on the platform right now and you're like, I don't know where I'm going, so I don't really want to get back on the train. It's not just a refueling. It's like, I don't know where I'm going. There's a halt in everything right now. And that's always a sign that it's time to focus on this instead of like move, advancements. And there's a sense here too of your angels bringing you a person who's going to help you with this healing journey. And I'm not saying it has to just be a therapist. It could be, but a very therapeutic relationship that's going to help you and guide you on that way. Okay. So you are partnering through this process, but don't give away your power to get it done. Don't wait on appointments with that person. Don't wait to see what that person says. Don't wait on their feedback. Steer it yourself, guide it yourself, do it yourself. They're there to assist, not lead. Okay. Ayana is next. Okay. Ayana, and where am I in this? Okay. Ayana, what is the healing message for Ayana? healing message for Ayana. You may be very drawn to children, whether these are your literal kids or these are just like people who are more immature or children in general, people who need your assistance. You may be very drawn to giving out a lot to them, more sometimes even than what you should, or spending extended periods beyond what you should have with them. And what that suggests to me is wounded healer syndrome. Somebody else got this earlier, wounded healer syndrome. Eric? Maybe, I don't know. Anyways, this is coming from your guardian angel. And this is about being emotionally drained because you are draining yourself. So this is a little bit different than what most people get in a message about drainage. When you have wounded healer syndrome, you are giving out to others so much so that you are either draining yourself, or because you had no business giving to these people or these situations. These could also be circumstances. This could also be where you put your thoughts for you. Okay. You're giving so much attention to those areas where you weren't supposed to be. You're draining yourself. Because the universe only fills your cup and you only feel fulfilled when you're working in alignment with people and situations you're supposed to be. So you're out of alignment and you're drained. The other thing is that you're playing a bit of a blame game. So you're like, well, I'm drained and this caused it and that caused it and they caused it. And it's like, no, you caused it. So it's a call to take ownership of yourself, your choices, your thoughts, your energy, what you invest in. It's all you. You've created it all. You've allowed it all. You've accepted it all. You've invited it all, or you've tolerated it all. Either way, any way we look at this, any way we go with this, you're at the root. So the blame game, where you've been saying like this circumstance caused it, or this unfortunate situation, or my bad luck, or this person, right? Or even blaming yourself isn't helpful. It's a misunderstanding. It's like smoke and mirrors, and that pattern needs to go. So you're being called. You're in the first 2 months of it now, but there are 2 more months to come. And this is how you're going to recoup your energy and start to feel like, okay, now I'm cooking with gas. Okay, I hit the ground running. Okay, this thing is taking off and I barely even did anything yet. And you can feel in your bones that you're in alignment, and it may clear up a lot of things, including and I can't prescribe a diagnosis, but like your sinuses or headaches or anything. This could be anything from the lungs to the top of the head, but it feels like I'm in through here with a lot of it. So like your vision may improve, your lungs may feel stronger, and a bunch of things there may even change. Let me see. Deborah says, wow, okay, that is the truth. Yes, my thyroid. Okay, good. Yes, you guys, please leave a testimonial. If this is hitting for you, if it makes some sense, even if it doesn't, if it's about the future, it may not yet. But please leave a testimonial so other people know that this is helping and they can also take advantage of it. And I know to add this to the 2026 show lineup. Kim, let me know how many more we have. I want to see if I have to adjust my schedule one more time. Oh, great. Okay. This is the last one. Melissa Melsubi. Melissa, what healing message do we have for Melissa? Your protector guide is stepping in and saying, now you're playing chess, not checkers, and then stepping back, which tells me you just went through the ringer. You just went through one hell of an episode. This could have been really the last 2 years, but 5 years total. Like it started brewing about 5 years ago, and it may have come to a head the last 2 years. So the idea that your protector guide had to be with you that entire time, like making sure that you were safe and protected, is significant. By now, Melissa, you're probably exhausted. Your angels are showing you like this cartoon dragon. Was it Puff the Magic Dragon? I don't know what I'm looking at here, but it's like this cartoon dragon that's like, and like smoke comes out of your mouth and you're so tired and you're just like laying down to take a nap. You are a dragon. Don't forget your fire. Don't forget your power. Don't forget your ability to be mobile and, transmutable and, all these things. You can fly, you can be on land, you are all of these symbols of power and strength and even fierce energy when you want to be. But right now you're a little tired. You're a little burnout from the journey, rightfully so. And this is where your guardian angel steps in. And, that's not uncommon to see, is that your protector is with you for a while and then the guardian steps in when it's like Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right? We have gotten food and shelter and safety and the basics. Now I can focus on my feelings and all the other stuff. So, your protector angel continues to watch over your health. I can't prescribe or diagnose and your well-being there. But I don't feel, again, that there's a ton, for him to do in this area. It feels like everything's playing out as it is meant to at this time. He did his job and he did well. And I feel like you did well. So pat yourself on the back and try to find some level of celebration in that transition. Not to say everything's like perfect, but you are transitioning. And every single time we transition in any way, we need to get some rest and we need to celebrate that transition. Then we have your guardian angel stepping in here talking about, hi, Ezzy. Okay. Talking about how you are needing to put more time and attention on yourself in regards to rest and recognition. Okay. And third, celebration. So it's like, I am going to, rest. I am going to pay attention to what my body is telling me. I'm going to pay attention to my nervous system. I'm going to pay attention to what my mind is telling me. I'm going to, and this is a big thing, your guardian angel is showing roses, in particular red roses, but these will change colors in time depending on where you are developmentally. That is love yourself, okay? The red rose. It is also about stopping and smelling the roses. Then we have recognition, number 2. So recognition, this is about, realizing areas that need to change and being willing to make those changes, not putting it off or procrastinating or passing judgment on it. Oh my God, this needs to change. This is bad. It isn't. It isn't. This is changing. This must be bad. This change, I'm not familiar with this bad. No. It's not black or white, right or wrong, left or right. It isn't. There are many shades of gray. There's a lot of nuance here. So stop judging and critiquing in that way. Like, however you were trained, you need to recognize how you've been programmed to see anything associated with change as bad. The government did that. Patriarchy did that. Capitalism did that. Colonization did that. Look at all the shit systems that are crap. They're literal trash. Religion did that. And let them go. Change is not bad. Change can be growth if you choose it. Okay, so stop being so black and white. And then the third thing I think was celebration, right? It was celebrating. Every little step you make. I don't care if it's sitting down to have a cup of tea. Okay, it's saying to yourself, wow, I let myself sit down and have a cup of tea. I didn't do 5 more things. I didn't forget about it, because I got distracted with other things. I didn't let, my kids come at me and disrupt it when they're perfectly capable of getting their own sandwich. I didn't take that text. I didn't check that alert on my phone, even though I swear to God, I shut my phone off. I didn't get distracted, with stuff that's coming in to disrupt me, because it always will. It always does. It's a test. I drank my tea. Then you need to celebrate that. So every little win, every step you take in the right direction, okay? Your guardian angel wants you to celebrate that. Celebrate that. You're moving into a period of your life, if you can do this, of mastery where nothing can get at you ever again. Literally nothing. You're steel. Okay. And quite frankly, I mean, I think you already are. I think this is just the last of it. And when nothing can touch you, you really start to live. It's unbelievable. Okay. So kudos. You made it. Now it's the last of it. How can we alchemize it? How can we take this pain, transmute it into power, and use that power once and for all? We're getting into the good stuff, folks. All right. And this isn't just like 2026 is going to be amazing. No, I mean, not for everybody, and certainly not for people who haven't done any work, but like for those of us who have, I think it is actually going to be pretty amazing. And I think the show is right on time. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for supporting this. If everyone could please give it a thumbs up, share, drop a comment. Let me know if you liked it and I should add it to the 2026 show lineup. And if you would like to see me add this to my website so that you can purchase it anytime or gift it to someone else who needs a healing message. I think that's kind of a fun idea. And Kim, if you could pop up any feedback that we got at this time, thank you. I am so blind. Nature Calls You says, crazy how right on you are, although I'm not really surprised because you always are. You're the Michael Jordan of mediumship. I try. I show up. I love that. The Michael Jordan of mediumship. A reference that I can understand from the 90s too. I appreciate you. All right. Very cool. CJG says, that was powerful, Ivy! Exclamation mark ×3. Thank you. I hear you. And I'm working on fully letting go. Very nice. All right. Wonderful. Yes. And I feel the power always working with angels. It's pretty incredible. Pretty indescribable. And it tends to always hit. If not now, it will. So just stay open. The last one is me. Is there one more? Okay. Oh, is Mel. Oh, I thought that was me. Oh, gotcha. I thought it was you, Kim. I thought our producer Kim was buying one. Kim, you can always have one for free, okay? When we're like doing shows, of course. All right, you guys. So thanks again. Dear Ivy, I think is the next show that I have coming up. We are getting back into Wednesdays. I used to do everything on Wednesdays, but I am doing 2 to 3 shows per week now in 2026. I'm also doing around the world here in the house. So I'll be moving my setup because you guys asked to see more of the 1882 Victorian Funeral Home. So I'll be moving. And we are getting back to Wednesdays because it was all like Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, New Year's Eve. It sucked up all my Wednesday opportunities. So Dear Ivy, which is my free advice show, you can get your early questions in now. Ask about anything. It's a play off of Dear Abby, the famous columnist. It's my favorite show. And, I'm just going to give you some advice on whatever it is that you ask about. Okay. And that's coming from me. It's not a free readings show. If you need to book a reading, a party, a healing with me, you can go to Ivy Rivera psychicmedium.com. I do work internationally. It's a super simple self-booking system, and that's in the bio as well. All right. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you to everyone's angels. Thank you for tuning in, and thank you, Kim. I'll see you guys next time.